On a Thursday, this is Queen City News Plus Live coming to you live from the Blue Room. It is 3 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Derek Dellinger alongside Morgan Francis, meteorologist Andrew Brybin. We also have producer-director Austin McCollum behind the controls. In fact, he was actually behind that remote control that was moving the camera just a second ago. We also have director in training Amy Thompson here as well. You might see her, or at least the back of her head, coming up in the next couple of minutes or so while we try to work out some of the technical gremlins, A, but also B, while we're getting her trained on how to do this show, too. So it's like, so anyway,
a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on here at the station today, but we also have a lot of stuff that's happening in the news. We do want to start out in Washington, where the Hillary Clinton, former First Lady, former Secretary of State, she testified a little bit earlier today on her connections in the Epstein investigation, but she didn't really give a lot of details. In fact, she basically made a point of saying that she didn't really have a relationship with Epstein.
Which is also interesting because of the relationship that her husband, former President Bill Clinton, had with Epstein.
Yeah.
They were known to be fairly close, and I believe Ghislaine Maxwell was actually at one of their daughter's weddings at one point. But the deposition that's going on, it's in front of the U.S. House lawmakers, and I believe it was in New York because that's where their home is.
Yes.
But it'll be 2 days of depositions. First day, Hillary Clinton. And tomorrow, we're expecting the former president to take part in it. And Hillary Clinton today accused the panel of just engaging in partisan fishing expeditions by forcing them to come in and basically testify about their relationship.
Yes, and the Clintons themselves, they offered to actually give some sworn statements to the House Oversight Committee that is looking into the Epstein ties and kind of basically how he was able to do what he had been accused of doing for so long as far as sex trafficking involving underage girls. But Hillary Clinton herself said that she did not really have a lot of information. She said she never encountered, she doesn't recall encountering Epstein, her words exactly. But she also didn't necessarily say that she had a relationship in any way, shape, and form with Ghislaine Maxwell either. There was one moment in here that, pretty early on, it was basically there was a slight delay just as it started because Representative Lauren Boebert, she apparently took a picture during these proceedings where there were
Mind you, these are closed door depositions.
Closed door depositions. She took a picture. She sent it to a right-wing influencer who then posted it on social media. She's saying she did nothing wrong. She says the right-wing influencer did nothing wrong, but it led to some controversy because these were closed-door proceedings.
Right. There was a brief pause in basically the question and answer of what was going on. They are, by the way, going to release the transcripts at least and release video as soon as everyone approves it.
Yeah.
They didn't give a timeline as to when that might happen, but that is something that they intend to do at some point. But, keep in mind, Bill Clinton, he said he traveled on Epstein's planes 4 times from 2002 to 2003. This, by the way, will be the first time that a former president has been forced to testify before Congress. So that's just interesting in and of itself. But again, both Clintons have said that this is something that is just political theater.
Yeah. Former President Clinton expected to be deposed on Friday, and we will likely be getting details out of that as well as the day goes on, at least on Friday. Second story that we have for you involves a fire that happened in Still Creek overnight. This one was rather dramatic because 2 firefighters were trapped in that fire that happened last night. It happened on Fieldstone Trace. While emergency crews were working to put out the fire, this is when it all happened. They were inside the home. They were trying to put out the fire, and then there was some sort of structural collapse inside the home, and that led to the firefighters getting trapped.
Right, and they had to do, a mayday call and get the firefighters out of there. One firefighter is with the Steel Creek Fire Department, and the other is with the Bethel Volunteer Fire Department. So this is a pretty significant fire, as you can tell from the footage, and a number of fire departments responded to help put out these flames. But again, as you mentioned, kind of toward the back of the home is where this collapse happened. So very scary situation for everyone involved, but from what we have heard, while one of them had serious injuries, both were treated at the hospital and are back home and are doing fine tonight.
Yeah, they are. And in fact, I had a chance to sift through the Broadcastify audio, and it was really dramatic because not only did you get the initial call, but the mayday call from what appears to be someone inside the home, basically saying, "Hey, that that they were trapped." In fact, we do have some audio to show you of that. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Still Creek Station 1 fire, Still Creek Station 2 fire, Still Creek Station 3 fire, CFD, Bethel fire, TDK. Riverview Fire, Flint Hill Fire, responding for a structure fire.
We got a two-story house on a slab. Heavy fire shown from the rear with smoke pushing throughout.
That rear bedroom on the CD, they said the floor joists are starting to fall out underneath. And all companies have collapsed on the second floor. Mayday, real low. Collapse on firefighter. 232 on the command. Mayday. The stairwell on the first floor is letting down firefighters. We have a very nice hours on the roof. I need as many firefighters as we can get. The downtime is on air. He's moving. We're working on getting them down.
You can just hear it in their voices, and you can hear the breathing. Right, is just kind of.
And they were trying to get air to those people that were trapped, and they were able to get to them.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It's they train for that obviously, but all the training in the world cannot prepare you for a moment like that.
Yeah.
And thankfully, they're okay.
Yeah, and I was listening a little bit more on some of we were able to cut down. It was about an hour-long response to happen there to a few minutes. And when I was sifting through it, one of the firefighters, basically apparently one of the ones that was trapped, the only thing they were complaining about was some back pain as a result of this. There was someone who had a little bit more serious injuries, but both. Again, are home. They are recovering.
The heat and the weight of the material is hard to imagine being in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Want to get out to the latest that's happening out of Cuba. You may have heard about this. Cuban authorities have said that 4 people on a speedboat were killed by Cuban authorities.
Yeah.
They said that they were coming from the U.S. trying to infiltrate the island and unleash terrorism.
Yeah, the boat apparently had a Florida flag on it, and as they were approaching Cuban waters, again, these people, at least according to the Cuban government, fired at the soldiers. They fired back. 4 people died. 6 people were wounded. And right now, there is an investigation into exactly what's going on from not only the Cuban side, but also the American side and also the U.S. Attorney's Office in Florida. They're just trying to figure out exactly what happened here, because I think there's a lot of head scratching right now as far as like who, what, when, where, and why.
Well, there are trust issues, right?
Oh, true.
On both sides. So U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that they're going to launch their own investigation to try to figure out if these were American citizens or if these were, permanent U.S. residents, just trying to figure out exactly what happened from the U.S. perspective, because, again, they're not going to trust very much that is coming from the Cuban government.
Yes. Our number 4 story today. This one is, shall we say, a bit of a pickle here. It involves predatory towing allegations that were in South, and it involves specifically the allegations were at the Bojangles in South Tryon at West Boulevard, where apparently we had a chance to speak with this man. Queen City News did. Man claimed that he went to eat at Bojangles, but he had to use the bathroom first. He went to order his food, needed to get some money from his car. He went to his car, found the car booted, and the towing company that was out there basically
Hitch
saying,
and Haul Heroes.
Yes, they said, hey, we can negotiate it like a lower fee or something like that, but guy didn't have a chance to pay it. It was towed. He had to pay $750 ultimately to get his car back. But it led to a lot of back and forth because there are questions as to who exactly authorized the towing company to be there, because Bojangles is saying, or at least according to this guy, a lot of finger pointing. It's basically saying, hey, Bojangles did not necessarily authorize that, at least from the corporate
So Bojangles corporate says, we didn't hire this guy. The owner of Hitch and Haul Heroes says, well, the GM of this particular Bojangles is the one who called me, and I've got the text messages to prove it. So he showed us those text messages. So there seems to be a bit confusion. And within those text messages, this will be a story on Queen City News tonight. There are kickbacks involved that are discussed. So towing company comes, tows a car from the parking lot, and then the general manager gets a kickback. And we found that there are a number of states that don't have any laws against kickbacks, and North Carolina is one of them. So there are no protections there. But meanwhile, this guy who owns a car says, hey, I'm a paying customer. I shouldn't have been towed. Bojangles corporate did refund his money or pay for the $750 that he paid. He doesn't sound like that's enough. He says he intends to take legal action. Well,
and Bojangles corporate, for their part, says they have taken steps to make sure this doesn't happen again. And the hauling company, the towing company, The owner that we spoke with says they don't plan on doing business with Bojangles ever again because they felt that they were thrown under the bus. And from what we're saying, from what we're kind of learning here, it's like the finger pointing is more towards possibly someone associated with that Bojangles specific branch, and not necessarily having the full go ahead from the company. But the company's like, hey. Like, we've taken steps to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Not to mention, the owner of the car said that CMPD even threatened to cite him if he stood in the way of the tow truck driver that was trying to tow his vehicle. So, rightfully so, this guy is pretty upset, and we'll just have to see how this one pans out.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, I know one particular director today is
Let's
very
go.
excited. Charlotte FC, their first home game is coming up, home match, March 7th. And to celebrate the 2026 season, tickets are starting at $26.
Good luck if you can get them at this point, because I went by Ticketmaster actually just a few minutes ago because they were actually doing the $26 tickets through Ticketmaster. You won't be able to get them for the first match because
Where
they
are
are
they
sold
located?
out.
In the Upper Bowl, I'm assuming?
Upper Bowl. Yeah,
Actually,
the cheaper ones are in the Upper Bowl.
They said they're not opening the upper bowl. So
Really?
that was CEO. This is the first time. Here, I'll go to the.
Because they're saying
This is the first time in the club's history for the inaugural home match of the season. They are not going to open the upper bowl. So there's a lot of concerns with fans right now about the kind of future of that throughout the season. Because typically when you see the big matches, especially when they head hopefully again towards the playoffs, they'll open up that section.
Because the lowest prices on Ticketmaster right now, because I've made a point of looking in the last hour or so, they were for like at least for the first match, $123. Yeah,
on the low end.
On the low end.
Okay.
And the $26 ones, I was actually looking through all the games they're going to be having at BOA, and they were now starting at 32. So
Okay.
is
they
that
were
with the
starting at 26.
Ticketmaster fees though?
Probably.
So that's the thing is
Probably.
Ticketmaster now has to display the price with their fees included, so that people who are buying the tickets don't get surprised when they go to check out.
But even then, that $32.50 price, it was for the Upper Bowl.
Interesting. Maybe I'm wrong, and I don't want to get wrong information out there, but I will say first home match against Austin FC, very exciting, March 7th. Second home match is Inter Miami with Messi hopefully coming back. We don't know if he's going to play given how close the World Cup is, even though Messi's kind of said he is retired.
Who do you root for when it's against Austin FC?
A quandary.
Like, I'm just saying,
No, Charlotte FC.
Just go for the player. Just go for the player.
Zaha. Followed him at Crystal Palace, huge fan. Can't wait to see what he does
So
second
they
season.
already had their first game of the season, right?
Yes.
Did they win that one?
That was a
didn't
draw
check.
against St. Louis.
Okay. All right. So
tied.
Yeah, good game. Kalina, again, I'm not going to get too deep into sports here because we can go into a whole CSL spinoff,
Yes.
but Kalina once again proving he is the best player on Charlotte FC, hands down the goalkeeper.
But if you do want to try, at least for these really cheap tickets to the Charlotte FC games, you will have all season to do so because these tickets will be made available each and every game. It's just a matter of the availability, at least at this point.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of times these prices keep families out of the games, and it'd be great for a family.
Let's get a check on your weather on this Thursday. It has been a wet day. It has been a foggy day. It has been it's been a cool day
Dare
too.
I say rainy?
Yeah. What is it? Wet, rainy, foggy.
You may dare.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of everything today.
We've had some
except the
champagne
sun.
weather.
Except
I
the sun.
was able to educate Andrew on
yes.
what that means. Champagne weather earlier today.
You know, you're truly from high society more than making some Victorian,
Victorian
references
reference.
here. I think I'm up on my history. Took me to
Do we have to
school
get the accent out?
this morning.
No, we will not be doing that.
That
Still
would've been
value
a
my
whole-
career
no.
somewhat.
Okay.
That would have been a whole different level. But yeah, it's been kind of a champagne afternoon, as Morgan was just referencing here. Kind of just a lot of wet weather, a lot of showers moving through, off and on, moderate rain here across the Carolinas. Clearing out for the weekend, but then we got some more cool weather and could see some more dreary weather early next week. 54 degrees currently. Temperature's actually underperforming a little bit. Thought we'd be maybe a few degrees higher up, but the low cloud cover keeping us down in the middle 50s here all day long. Boone camera, they've also got the dreary conditions, though a little bit less rain. You'll notice here currently on Pinpoint Radar, I'll zoom in a touch. Hopefully my little mirroring technology won't betray me here. But we do have some of the heavier rainfall south and east of Charlotte. Kind of draw this on here. Lancaster up through portions of Chesterfield County, southern portions of Union and Anson County. This is where we're seeing kind of that heavier rainfall right now. Not seeing any lightning currently on Pinpoint Radar, but definitely kind of coming down like cats and dogs. So don't get caught in a poodle. Extra points if you know the reference to that TV show. Anyway, we've got a frontal boundary moving through, not going to have any impact on our temperatures. In fact, we're going to be getting noticeably warmer once this clears out as we head on into the weekend. We still need that wet weather. Latest drought monitor today, No real change here. A lot of a severe drought and even some extreme drought popping up to the east of Charlotte. I've got more in your forecast and what's on the way this weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
I was trying to Google the movie reference. So
Yeah,
I know
but-
what
but-
I
TV
can
show.
find it.
No,
Oh,
but
it's a TV
also,
show.
are we going to have to put a ban on you like we have put in calling snow pow pow?
No.
Really?
First off, you'll never stop me from calling it that, Derek.
All right.
Sure about
Coming up, couple of interesting stories for you. But
Yeah.
what would it look like if there was real-time performance reviews? Real time.
What do you mean real time exactly?
I'm going to tell you about a fast food restaurant that is using
Fast food
AI
chain, no less.
to keep their employees in check.
And keep them nice. Yeah, that story and more coming up next. This is Queen City News Plus Live.
Welcome back to Queen City News Plus Live on this Thursday as we take a live look outside at essentially nothing because the raindrops are covering the screen. If you've been outside, you know that we've dealt with this rain all day, but
You woke up with it. You probably maybe fell asleep and had a nap with it. Yeah. So yeah.
but there's some good news. Andrew Brightman has your bright-looking forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice tease.
Yeah. There's been some new body camera footage that's been released showing WWE CEO Vince McMahon's end result, I guess, of his high-speed chase. This was in Westport, Connecticut. Yeah, as you saw there, he was going right around 100 miles per hour.
Yes. More than.
And clipped the back of another vehicle. And the trooper comes up to him and, goes through the, do you know why I stopped you? No, essentially, trying to figure out why he was going so fast.
Yes, he was said. I think he was trying to get to a party of some sort, if I'm not mistaken. Granddaughter's birthday party, and this all happened last summer. We should mention as well. I mean, and troopers say he hit the brakes a little bit too late. He crashed his Bentley into a BMW. That BMW apparently was fine. But he swerved into the guardrail, back into the highway. He was cited for this, and he was cited basically for reckless driving.
Following too closely, I think.
Yeah, he went into a pretrial probation program, and and basically it's going to be expunged. But this was actually obtained through a public records request to actually get a little bit more information on what exactly happened.
The most surprising thing to me was that he's 80 years old. I didn't know that.
No,
yeah, and his excuse was I haven't driven in a while, and he seemed a little confused, honestly, on the video, but.
Yeah.
Interesting, going more than 100 miles per hour there.
Yes. Instagram, they're making some more changes. In fact, this kind of goes into some of the social media effects on people in general. And they say that they will be notifying parents if teens repeatedly search for terms related to suicide. Now, this comes as Instagram itself, or at least their parent company, Meta, is being hit with a couple of lawsuits about social media's potentially harmful effects on children. At least that's what the lawsuits are alleging.
Right.
And more its effect on mental health. And then this kind of goes to a larger portion of what they've been trying to do.
Right. So one of the trials is in LA. One of them is out in New Mexico, and they both basically are kind of the same thing, but a little different. Just the addiction aspect and kind of that Meta failed to protect against sexual exploitation.
Yeah.
So those are the two lawsuits that they're dealing with right now. This new feature will notify parents if teens repeatedly search the terms related to suicide. So the alerts can go out via, a WhatsApp, text message, or straight to the parents' Instagram page, for instance, if they have one, just to kind of keep them in the know of what their kids are doing online.
The app already blocks content on teen accounts anyway with helpline information. But if you want to, but if there was like that repeated search, then that is when it will be coming up as far as parent notifications. And Meta has made some changes in regards to social media accounts for teens, where it does have to have that parental permission in some ways.
I feel like we're starting to see a lot more proactiveness out of these social media companies in light of some of the trials and lawsuits that they're dealing with. All right, so the story that we teased before commercial break, the restaurant, the fast food restaurant that's doing the AI stuff is Burger King, and so they're using AI, and it's going to be in the headsets for workers, not drive-through. This will be in the restaurant, and will help employees with meal preparations and evaluate their interactions with customers for friendliness.
So AI tracking, please and thank you. Here's my thing about going into any type of fast food joint. I will say please and I will say thank you. I don't expect them to say please and thank you to me.
Right.
Okay.
Why?
Well, it's like, hey, would you like ketchup? Please, yes. Or hey, thank you for
Yeah.
giving me my food. And it's like
Monitor yourself,
no, well,
essentially.
no, but it's like I normally do that as a customer because it's like, hey, thank
But
you
as
for
a
taking.
customer, would
Yes.
you be okay
I
with
would
them
not.
recording your interaction? Because
A-
if they're recording the person at the counter, you have to think they're picking up what the customer is saying as well.
Derek.
I would have a problem with it, but also B, I look at it this way too. There's also the fact that I mean, for these employees, it's like they've got a job to do, and is it going to be getting all their interactions between everybody else, or is it just going to be the customers?
And I think it's interesting the
yeah, so,
expectations too, because they're like, listen, I'm working at Burger King and I make X amount an hour.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me to say please and thank you all the time. I do wonder what the list of expectations will
Yes.
be for those employees.
Derek, I got to
Andrew.
say though, as someone, my first market actually worked I worked at delivering pizza Domino's on the side. I would always say please and thank you to the customer here. You deserve
Well, you're just
that
a polite
level
guy.
of that level of service.
yeah, it is what it is.
So, by the way, that's being piloted in 500 stores already. It will be in all of them by the end of the year.
Yes.
So it's
What-
happening, people.
What do you guys think the words they would look for us if they did that here for us with us here?
I
at
don't think we
Queen
can
City
repeat
News?
those words. Just saying.
Keep
Anyway,
it clean. That's what they would
Keep it
ask
clean,
us,
keep it
as
clean.
we always try to
No,
do.
I think it'd be the words they'd look for. Would be like, how did we say the most on news in Charlotte?
Yes.
yes. Most on
Check-
news in
check
Charlotte.
that
Definitely,
box.
definitely true these days. Okay, so as far as the rain is concerned, this is a look at Uptown from our Arlington camera, and as you can see, yeah, let's get Andrew here with a look at
think
what
that's
we
a
can expect
technical
for the
term,
remainder
Andrew.
of the night, and as well as heading into the weekend.
I've got good news for you though,
Yeah.
Derek. I know you like a little bit of warmer weather. Morgan, I know you like to play golf. Want to get out here in some of this, a little bit maybe nicer weather here across the Carolinas. Well, I've got good news for both of you here on the way this weekend. 54 degrees right now. Winds out of the west-northwest, about 5 to 7 miles an hour. Dew points in the 50s. Again, you can see the low cloud deck. Cloud deck right now about 600 feet off the ground currently. Got the wet weather moving on through currently here across the region, up across the mountains. We get to Beach Mountain here, a lot of low cloud cover throughout the region. We got pinpoint satellite. Yeah, a lot of clouds, but notice some of the clearing off to the west. We're starting to see a little bit drier air begin to move in north and west of the QC. Farther off to the south and east, though, here as we get down towards Lancaster, Chesterfield, Pageland, that's where we're starting to see more of that moderate and heavy rain moving through currently here as we get into the afternoon hours. Part of a frontal boundary moving through. Behind it, we get a little bit drier air across the region. Still might see some showers down across the Santos, though, as we go throughout your Friday morning. Temperatures currently 61 in Wilmington, 63 in Atlanta. You still a little mini cool wedge here across the Carolinas, but you see those 70s farther off to our south and west. That's what's going to be making a beeline towards us as we get into the weekend here. Still got to deal with the rainfall through tomorrow, especially south and east of Charlotte here. Future cast rolling as we go throughout your Thursday night. We see the cloud cover trying to clear out. Still, though, seeing a little bit of shower activity across the region early Friday morning. Now, actually, I'll be here doing the morning show in Queen City News now, so I'll be tracking those showers for you dark and early on your Friday morning before the sun comes up. Though, as we get to the later morning hours here, we should see a little bit drier conditions even down across the Sandhills. Cloud cover still holding on, but you see those 60s trying to move in. I think I'm a little skeptical of mid-60s, but at least getting a 6 handle on our high temperature. Much more likely tomorrow versus what we're seeing today. And then the banner weather starts to move in as we go through the overnight hours heading into your Saturday. A little bit of low cloud cover and just absolutely spectacular weather moving in here as we head into the afternoon. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures up into the middle 60s. How much rainfall are we talking about here? Probably another few tenths of an inch of rain, really watching down across the Sandhills for any type of significant rainfall still to come. Weekend looks great, up into the low to mid 70s here as we get to your Sunday. Still seeing those showers for the rest of today. And as we go to your pinpoint 7-day forecast here, wrapping it up. We've got that beautiful weekend, though, watching the cooler weather and the rainfall potentially returning as we get to early next week.
Yeah, but we need that rain, right?
We
Because
really
the drought
do.
conditions are getting pretty serious, right?
Absolutely right. Again, the rain is beneficial. Some places, though, over the past 30 days, seeing less than 60% of what they would average for that time period. So
Oh, wow.
really still not getting
Significant.
ahead of where we need to be.
Okay,
right.
we'll be back right after this. This is Queen City News Plus Live. So I held off on actually watching this video because I
You
actually want
did?
to get the reaction of this in real time. It's something that happened out of Turkey where during a soccer game where apparently a seagull was hit by a soccer ball, and then what happened next is actually kind of
Watch,
kind
it's
of
in
amazing.
it's in the air right there. You see it?
Oh,
Okay,
So
so
Seagull
scary
was hit.
moments,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
They stopped the game. Look at the legs. Oh, this poor thing.
Oh,
Look at
poor
that.
thing.
Look at
Oh my
the,
goodness.
the soccer player goes up and starts giving the bird CPR. Guess what? It worked.
Yes. Thing
It
lived.
worked.
What a
Yes.
story. What a shot. Great video.
Isn't that crazy? So they performed CPR on the bird right on the pitch there,
Mhm.
and they ended up bringing the bird over to the sideline.
Yeah.
It had wing damage from the impact and couldn't fly, at least for the time being, right? But it is being taken under treatment. So, I mean, the player ended up losing, but I think they won by saving a life there.
Yeah, and
Pretty
this
crazy.
video being seen around the world. We'll be back here on Monday. Thanks for watching.
Take
Queen
a round
City
of
News Plus
applause for
Live.
Amy Thompson. Good job. Thanks, Amy.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.